Keeping your kids safe from food allergies, it can be a full-time job. So when you can't have your eyes on your kids all the time, how do you keep them safe from the forbidden food? 8 on your side's Paul Mueller joins us now. And Paul, this is a situation that affects a lot of parents, certainly a lot of parents I know.
A lot of parents, indeed. A lot of families, you know, the number of cases of food allergies are actually on the rise. You've heard of it.
Yes.
I've heard of it too, right? So that has parents, obviously now more than ever, doing their best to keep their kids away from those foods. You might be thinking easier said than done, right? And that's why some families are taking part in trials and therapies that are aimed at getting rid of allergies altogether.
I think I cried for quite some time because he was allergic to so many things.
Martina Manning will always remember that life-changing moment. She gave her baby Reed, who's now 12, some yogurt. Minutes later, his face broke out in hives. Doctors soon discovered he had a whole host of allergies.
It was just scary.
Turns out Reed was allergic not only to yogurt, but nuts, wheat, soy, corn, and dairy. As he got older, all but one of those allergies went away.
He would lie in bed crying, basically, you know, when we're talking 2 or 3, saying, this stinks, this just stinks. I don't understand why I can't have nuts, why I just can't be like other kids.
Turns out Reed isn't alone. According to the CDC, 1 in 13 kids have food allergies, with 9,500 hospital visits a year. The number of cases up at least 50%. The most problematic foods: peanuts, tree nuts, and shellfish.
And that has to be taken care of.
But world-renowned USF allergist Dr. Richard Lockie says not so fast.
Absolutely, it's blown out of proportion. Most people don't have a food allergy, okay? But when they have a food allergy, they get a reaction, and the parents are going to witness that reaction.
So how do you know if it's a reaction? Dr. Lockie told us it typically happens within 30 minutes of eating the food. And that's when parents need to make a beeline right to their doctor's office.
We do a history and a physical, and 95% of the time we can tell from the history most likely what caused the problem.
Despite all the hysteria, Dr. Lockie insists peanuts are the worst offender. As for Reed, everything came to a head on a field trip when he mistakenly ate a friend's dessert, and you guessed it, with peanuts in it.
Oh my gosh, my child might die right here on vacation. I can't go through that anymore. Like, I've spent so many years in fear for my child's life.
Then the Game Changer, a program that desensitizes some people like Reed to peanuts.
But I was so scared to do it because the thought of taking him and having him ingest something that could potentially kill him was very frightening.
But after taking that first frightening step, Martina is now giving Reed proper peanut proportions. His body slowly getting used to it, similar to FDA clinically approved trials happening right now at USF.
Our impression is we're able to make a lot of them tolerant to peanuts, and if they're not completely tolerant, they're tolerant to eat 1 or 2 or 3 peanuts, and that no longer causes severe reaction.
Something that could kill me. Something that would always be around the corner waiting for me that I would have to avoid.
Now Reed's just looking forward to eating that first peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
It's miraculous because it changes a child's life. They no longer have to live in fear.
And Dr. Lockie believes the trials will be the first of many ways for people to become immune tolerant or desensitized. You know, imagine what it would be like for Reed to eat his first peanut butter and jelly sandwich. You and I don't know if you remember when you had yours. I'm not allergic, but come on. For this kid,
I
he's
have
12.
a lot of ideas, from peanut butter and Nutella, peanut butter and marshmallow fluff. I mean, there are a lot of things, great ways for kids to have peanut butter sandwiches.
Yeah.
So my heart goes out to him for not being able to experience that yet. Let's talk about that USF study.
Yeah.
Is it closed? Can people still get involved in it?
People can still get involved in it. They're still recruiting. There's actually more room. And this is for kids ages 4 to 17 for the next round of the study. It's expected to last about 6 months. If you want to take part, you have to meet certain requirements, Jen. And you know what? For all of those requirements, I've listed them over, of course, on our website, WFLA.com.
Great resource, Paul. Thank you very much.
Sure.